Okay, I have a treat for you guys today. It's black and white video. And so you're probably saying, what in the world is he posting black and white video for? There's no way they handled the passing game back in these black and white days the way that it is now. But let me tell you something. I've used this video to teach defensive backs how man-to-man and press coverage is played many a time. And so here's what you're going to see in here. These are one-on-one clips from practice from the Denver Broncos defense from the 70s, late 70s and early 80s. They had a nickname. It was the Orange Crush. And you don't get a nickname if you're not a good defense. And they were indeed a very good defense. Led the Broncos to the Super Bowl on several occasions. They didn't win, but it was no fault of the defense. And so you're going to get just a piece of the video, of a longer video of one-on-one reps from practice. And what you're going to see here in this video is the DBs are playing two-man technique. And one of the things I'd like to do when I'm training guys or when I was coaching was teach two-man technique first. Because what a lot of cornerbacks are and DBs are worried about when they're playing press man is getting beat deep. And the constant fear of getting beat deep causes technique to deteriorate. And it's very difficult. It's more difficult to have them maintain and keep the proper technique in man-to-man if all they fear is the deep ball, because they get out of character. The moment they think the wide receiver is going deep, they get out of character and all of their technique tends to fall apart. If you start off with two-man, though, and you let them know that there are two safeties over the top, you can get your defensive backs to play a little more honest. You can get them a little more in tune to their technique first and how things are supposed to look as you eliminate the fear of the deep ball. And now when you instill these principles first in the defensive back, it becomes a little bit more difficult for them to stray away from it now when they're playing a man-to-man coverage that doesn't necessarily have two DBs over the top, when it's just true man-to-man. So I'm going to play this video and I'm going to show you a lot of what I like and show you why two-man, show you the proper way that two-man is played. And you're going to notice it here as I point these things out on the defense. All right. First of all, we've got Louis Wright here, who was a very good defensive back in the Orange Crush days. 5 times All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. But let me run this back for you. And here's some things I want you to notice. He is, first of all, in two-man, you're inside. You're not allowing an inside release, okay? That's the first thing. You're not allowing the inside release. You're forcing him outside. You're not going to be overly aggressive if the outside release is what's taken by the wide receiver. As you will see here, he's not overly aggressive. Receiver goes the way that he wants him to go, gives him a tap on the shoulder, and then watch him stay inside and underneath. This is the essence of playing good two-man technique. You have help over the top. Stay inside. Stay inside, stay inside, stay inside. There's a little bit of a stutter there at the top. And you can see he doesn't pay too much of attention with it. He stutters with the wide receiver, but he knows I'll stay inside. My job in two-man as a cornerback or an underneath coverage is to stay between the wide receiver and the football. And that's exactly what Louis Wright is doing here on this one. And let's take a look at it again. He knows what his job is. He's doing his job, and he's doing it to the T. Inside and underneath. Stutter, but I'm inside. There's nowhere for that quarterback to put that ball. Here's the next rep. Outside release. I'm just going to tap you. Make sure you stay out there. I'm staying underneath. Now, on a deep ball like this, if the safety's back there, easy interception. Okay? Here's another one. Aligned inside. All right? He allows a man inside. He gets right back to that inside hip, as you can see right there. Let's run that one back. He's playing inside. Somehow the receiver gets inside. He knows his job, gets on that inside hip. Why? Because I need to get between the wide receiver and the wide receiver and the quarterback. Okay? get between the wide receiver and the quarterback. All right, and that just screws up all the timing. Again, aligned inside, any kind of a move inside, you're super aggressive on it, as you could see him doing right here. Comes inside, be super aggressive. You don't want him in there, all right? So he gets thrown. But I'm playing two-man. I've got safety help over the top. Now I'm going to just stay underneath. I'm going to stutter down, and I'm just going to mirror him, all right? Not the greatest rep after the press, but, again, knowing his job. I got thrown. I'm all out of sorts. I'm not going to go crazy. I do have help over the top. Let me just stay underneath, stutter, and get between the quarterback and the wide receiver. Same thing here. Taps him outside. This one, he's to the sideline. So here's what I like. He knows he's got him trapped to the sideline, so now he's not going to be as underneath, okay? He's going to be a little more hip to hip. I mean, after all, he's trapped to the sideline. He also knows this. When a wide receiver gets this wide, that's a little bit of a further run for the safety, and it might make it a little difficult for the safety to get there. So in this particular case, I need to be a little closer to him to affect that throw, just in case the safety can't get there. And because of where this wide receiver is located, it made it difficult with that little bit of space to fit the ball in, so it goes out of bounds, as you can see there. Again, aligned inside, taps him if he goes outside. He's trapped to the sideline. You see him, he's closer, and not enough room to fit that in. All right, same deal. You see him extend out on the guy? Watch this part right here. He extends out right here. You see that right there? I don't want him into my body, because if I let him get into my body, he can grab me, pull me, push off, and get the space that he needs to get a ball thrown in. So he extends his arm, keeps his leverage inside, but also keeps enough space between himself and the wide receiver that he can see the moves and react to them. If that receiver gets into his body, if the receiver can get into him right here, then he can push off and change direction and possibly get inside here and lose the defensive back outside. So that's something for you to pay attention to that he did here. Extends him, all right, slows down, staying inside, underneath, nowhere to put the football, all right? Same deal, staying inside. Look how he stays on that inside hip. And now that he knows it's a corner ball, he just switches to the other hip, okay? He's inside and underneath. As we go, he knows it's a corner ball, he switches to that hip. He's on the inside hip, goes outside, switches to the outside hip. As a quarterback, you can't even see your wide receiver. Very tough to fit that ball in, all right? And then he's there at the end anyway. So you'll notice on a lot of these clips, safety's not even needed, okay? And that's why I tell you, teaching this technique, teaching this coverage first, helps you with just the overall man-to-man technique. Again, stays inside and underneath, inside and underneath. I got safety help, plays it well there. All right, here it is down on the goal line, which now, even without playing two-man, you get down to the goal line, you could play two-man technique and still be good, because who's the safety now? The safety's the end line. There's less space to work there. So watch how he plays this. Stays inside, has to make a hip flip, but since he's already thinking inside, he can get back in here pretty quick and get a hand on that ball. Wrong hand, but stays inside. Here's a good one. Wide receiver beats him inside, all right? It doesn't always go as planned. He's aligned inside, but the receiver gives him a nice shimmy, gets inside. I'm going to get inside and underneath right now. Not worried about that outside ball. Two-man, you want the ball thrown deep and you want it thrown outside. So I'm not going to worry about an outside route. I'm going to get back inside. My job, again, is to get in between the wide receiver and the quarterback, and that's exactly where he is. And he's right there for the dig route, throws it, interception, cuts the route off. Here's Mike Harden, who was not a Pro Bowler, but that's criminal that he wasn't a Pro Bowler. He had 6 straight years of 4 interceptions or more. He had 3 out of 4 years where he had over 100 yards in interception returns. He had 4 years where he had 4 interceptions, 6 interceptions, 5 interceptions, 6 interceptions. I guess they had enough guys from this defense that they were putting in the Pro Bowl that they couldn't fit Mike Harden here. But watch his aggression and watch him play two-man in these clips. Again, not letting the man inside. That's doing your job. Okay, inside, underneath. I'm in between the quarterback and the wide receiver, and he's going to get in between here, make it difficult to fit that ball in there, gets a pass breakup. This is without the safety. Very aggressive. Now, here's something for you to understand. When you're playing two-man, now you can be even more aggressive at the line of scrimmage, as you'll see him do here. If I get beat, I'll just get back inside and underneath. I have help over the top. So watch how aggressive he is here. Lays off, comes, gives him a real hard jam. Now he stays inside and underneath, even without a safety. Ball's not completed. Again, I'm inside. I'm not letting you in here. Receiver tries initially, can't get there. He's stoning him up at the line of scrimmage, letting him know you're not getting in there. Now I'm inside and underneath. He's inside underneath. Receiver goes outside, switches to the other hip. Interception for Mike Harden, who, like I said, was very good at interceptions. Aligned inside. Aggressive. Pushes him outside. Stays inside and underneath. This is the essence of what you want. Look at it right here. Outside release. I'm staying inside, underneath. Stutter. I know my job. I'm staying inside. Cover him up. Know where to put that ball in. All right, here's the last one. All right, again, watch that extension when he goes outside. All right, see that extension? Extends that arm, pushes him outside. I've got enough space that I can see the moves. He's not up on my body. You're going outside, which is where I want you to go, and he extends him out there. Go ahead. I want you out there. I'm going to stay inside and underneath and do my job. And here's how that looks. Stays inside, underneath. All right, a little slow on the curl, but the route is disrupted. So as you can see, guys, a lot of great examples of two-man here. I've used this to teach DBs man-to-man technique because, again, two-man technique takes away the fear of being over the top, and now you can work all of the other solid techniques that you need to play good man-to-man. I've noticed over the years that the best DBs at playing, the best cornerbacks at playing man-to-man are the ones that have the least amount of fear of the deep ball. The ones that have all the fear all the time of the deep balls are the ones that just don't play with great technique. They're going to turn early. They're going to open the gate. They're going to run out of there too fast. And everything that you're trying to teach is going to go out the window because they're just so scared of getting beat deep. Teach them this two-man technique first, or if you're the actual player and you learn this two-man technique first, you can learn all the solid techniques of playing two-man and all of the techniques that are needed for just straight up man-to-man coverage. So you'll notice a lot of good things when you watch this video. They were inside, they were latched onto the hip, their eyes were in the right place, they got separation at the right amount of time, and then they closed the space out at the right amount of time. So again, there's a lot to be learned. This is a longer video, by the way, and I'll be using more clips from this video in the future to teach some more things. They have a great video of where they're playing off, but there's some really, really great things that, yes, it's black and white. And I know these receivers, it's not the receiver. It's not Randy Moss. It's not Calvin Johnson. It's not Julio Jones. It's not Odell Beckham. It's not those guys. But the DBs were, it's all relative because the DBs weren't exactly what the guys are now. What you need to focus on is just the technique that these guys are using, how they're doing their job, how they're keeping their eyes where they're supposed to be, how they're keeping the leverage where they're supposed to be, keeping the separation at the time that they needed to, and forcing the kind of throws that are harder to complete. The throws to the outside, the throws over the top. Deep balls are hard to complete. Throws to the outside are harder to complete. And you learn a lot more about, and you develop more and better, greater habits when you learn two-man and play two-man first before you go play any other man-to-man techniques. All right, I hope that was as good for you as it was for me. I love using this video, even though it's in black and white. When I first started watching football, these guys were doing it really, really great on defense. When I first started watching ball, the Orange Crush defense was what a lot of people were talking about. And a lot of what they did then, you can still use now. And so I hope you got a whole bunch out of it. Hey, if you have any feedback or you have any questions about this video or the All Eyes DB Camp members area, feel free to drop me an email, cwilson@alleyedsdbcamp.com. Thanks for watching, and continue on your grind. Consistency breeds results.